Disclaimer: the following program features language not suitable for all audiences, and the expressed opinions found within this program are a reflection of those who feature on the PopCulture Effect podcast. Welcome to the PopCulture Effect. I'm Rockin Rob, and on this show I bring my closest friends together to talk about all of the news happening in our pop culture world around us.
Heyo, welcome to PopCulture Effect. I'm Subset, and I'm here with my wonderful friends, Gemini.
Hello.
And Menace. And today we have, I hope, an exciting episode for us. Gemini, tell us more about this cross-gen of a game.
So, do you like cozy games? Do you like cozy life simulation games?
Oh, I know you do, Gemini. I know you do. Over 12K hours, right?
Yeah, over 12K hours in The Sims. Anyway, but do you like Lord of the Rings?
What?
Not really. That was more
How dare you?
shit.
Wait, what?
Anyway, so April 22nd, we will be getting a new Stardew Valley-esque Sims life sim cozy farming game that takes place in the Lord of the Rings universe called Tales of the Shire.
I don't think cozy and farming go with Middle Earth.
Because it's Tales of the Shire! You're gonna be a hobbit!
But even the Shire was like met with tons of orc attacks.
Was it? I don't remember in the movies it was. Maybe in like a lore
Not
aspect.
not in the movies, no, but
But like, you know, you think of the Shire and the Hobbit folk and the Shire folk, and honestly, that's the best place to have
you just want to
cozy-
rizz up Bilbo, don't lie.
No, maybe. Or Frodo. Look, Bilbo's like, he's too busy having his gay slutty adventures with dwarves, okay? Anyway, so yes, April 22nd, which actually isn't too far from when we are recording this, next Monday, this life simulation cozy farming game, similar to, as I stated, it's kind of like a cross blend between Stardew Valley and The Sims that takes place in Middle-earth, the Lord of the Rings universe, Tales of the Shire. They released a trailer, I think, a while ago. I probably should have watched it, but I didn't because I'm stupid because I just found out about this today. So a lot of times when they have released Lord of the Rings at game material, a lot of times it focuses more on like the dark and gritty aspects of Lord of the Rings, such as fighting orcs, or it's just a full-on game retelling of the movies and the books, such as like the Lego variants. There was the sad one that came out not too long ago that was based around Gollum that I heard tanked. So it's nice to see that they're going to be showcasing the more peaceful side that is in Middle-earth. Currently, we know very little because they have been keeping it tight-lipped, but it's a cozy hobbit life and a heartwarming take on the Lord of the Rings universe. Honestly, I'm content to play as a little hobbit who just farms and everything because I want nothing more than to live in a hobbit home. Like, they're so cute, you know?
There's a door in the there's a knob in the middle of the door. How do you open the door?
Yeah. But it says that it will follow in the footsteps of games like Stardew Valley, The Sims, and even Animal Crossing. I hope it doesn't take too much from Animal Crossing because I think that game's kind of stinky, but that's just me. But next
I
Monday
think it means more of like the interacting with your neighbors aspect.
probably
and
because, you know, the Shire is a big community. Well, yeah, it's a big community, you know, it's hobbit folk, you know, they're all like, hey neighbor, howdy neighbor, you know, like
unless you're a Baggins, in which case everybody hates you.
was it I thought it was the Tooks that people didn't really care for.
Apparently the Baggin, Frodo and them have like, it's a hyphenated last name.
Yeah, like Baggin took Baggin.
It's something else Baggins. I was just looking it up. It is, well, okay, so Frodo's last name is just Baggins, but his relatives are Sackville Baggins.
Ah, okay, yeah, the Sackville Baggins.
Yes, but apparently, from what we were talking about before, his Frodo's like uncle or something, other uncle, Lotho, tried to make a grab for the Shire, and it became he took over the Shire, imprisoning many, including important
Oh.
and began industrializing the once green and ardent Shire.
Huh.
Yeah,
Well,
and then Saruman came and took over and imprisoned everybody else.
Jesus, I didn't know about that. But yeah, it's meant to be like a nice, cozy little. You play as a hobbit, you know. You play as a hobbit and everything. And you get to do little hobbit things. I do want to look up Tales of the Shire. I kind of want to see like Is there any like gameplay like imagery? Because it looks the art style, at least from what I can see, it's giving me similar graphic quality to a mixture blend of kind of like Breath of the Wild and the game My Time at Portia, which is on the same lines of like a cozy simulation-esque game, but that one's more based off of like building, which I f***ing love that game. Oh my god.
This one? I'm trying to think if this one I'm looking at is actual gameplay footage, because if this is it, it looks like Hogwarts Legacy almost.
I'm not too sure. I don't think that they've been pretty tight-lipped about Tales of the Shire. They haven't released much information, but it does look like graphic-wise, it is along the same like path of like Coral Island, My Time at Portia, the big one of a similar, graphic style, Breath of the Wild, like that similar like cartoony aspect, which I'm completely fine with. I mean, it's a nice style. And the developers for this game is Private Division and Weta Workshop, and they both have been rather tight-lipped about it. The game should be dropping for PC, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, and the Xbox Series X. So if you're a Switch fan or Switch player, sadly, currently it doesn't seem like it's going to be on the Switch. It's possible it could release at a later date for the Switch. It was released back, or not really, announced back September 22nd on World Hobbit Day. I didn't even know that was a thing. Oh, these are interesting. If that's actual gameplay footage, that's actually different than what I anticipated. Yeah, you're right. That's more like a Hogwarts Legacy, more realistic style than what I was thinking. And if that's the case, that's even better. Oh my god. I'm gonna have too much fun with this game. Oh no. Apparently the video, like the trailer, showed picturesque views of the Shire, Hobbit Fair, and familiar landmarks such as the Green Dragon and Bywater. So it's entirely possible that then this could be like a semi-closed open world map where you could like probably visit some of like even the surrounding towns that are near the Shire, like Bree and everything. And I think that'd be interesting. And if I can already tell what I'm gonna do if they have certain aspects that are very common in.
You're gonna romance everybody, aren't you?
I'm not gonna romance everybody, but like if there's a nice looking human, look, I'm a shrimp.
Climb them like a tree ant.
No, maybe yes. I'm a shrimple goblin, okay? But tragically, I don't have much else to say about this. I probably honestly just should have waited till it was out, but I might talk about this again once it comes out next week, and then maybe like sit on it for a week just to kind of get an idea of how this game is. But so far, I'm rather excited for it, and if you are someone who enjoys this branch of games and also you're a Lord of the Rings fan, I'd say put it on your wish list and like keep an eye out for it, because it looks really interesting, even though they haven't released much information about it. I mean, you can't
I'm sure you're
go
gonna
wrong
get a
with
good addendum. You're gonna get a good addendum later on when you do have your hands on it.
My little goblin paws.
Because I just realized as we were talking about it, you said next week, but this episode's not gonna get up until like maybe a little bit later.
Well, that's why I'm saying by the time this comes out, it could already be out. So if you had it flew under your radar, I don't know when DJ Robbie or whatever the DJ
Rockin Rob.
Rockin Rob. Yeah, I don't know when Rockin Rob's gonna get this out on the airwaves. But if it's after April 22nd, then why don't you should probably go ahead and check this game out and purchase it. I don't know how much it's going to be. Actually, let me double check Steam. Maybe it's already on Steam. I'm going to double check Steam. Give me a hot minute.
The amount of editing Bobbert's going to do with this.
What's it called again?
And now he's going to have 2 episodes because our Zelda thing last week is apparently its own episode too.
Next week.
They might not even have a Steam page for it yet.
It's made from.
Well, with how tight-lipped they're being, I'm not surprised because when the Steam page comes out, you can risk a lot of like leakage and everything. So it's possible that they're just like new. Yeah, Private Division and Weta Work. The developer is Weta Workshop, who I'm not familiar with this.
I'm not even sure because I'm on the Private Division site right now, and all they literally they don't have any pictures or anything up for it.
Yeah, there's like nothing for this game, but. So Weta Workshop is
Do they have any other games?
That's what I'm looking for. I think this might be their first one.
Yeah, Tales of the Shire is their first game.
Okay, so this is what is this, the developer?
Yeah, this is the developer.
So this is the developer's first game. So who knows how it could be. It's their first game. They're a baby developer. Oh, they're based out of New Zealand. No wonder they're doing it.
All of them have worked on different games through a bunch of different companies like Hasbro, Nintendo, Fox Universal. And they started in 2014 with game developers and film veterans. And yeah, this is the first game that they're making.
Oh, wait a minute. They're a special effects and prop company, and they've made stuff for the movies.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because they made the Bigatures, which I actually did watch a video about that, of how like the movies were made, and a lot of the towns and like the cities and such, they used Bigatures for the shots, and then they would like edit it and everything. So they were the company that made the Bigatures for the trilogy. Oh, you know what? Honestly, I think that's probably one of the best companies to make a game about, like, where you're a f***ing hobbit just bopping around. Yeah. And Private Division.
That's fair.
What the f*** have they done? They sound familiar. Oh, they did Kerbal Space Program, After Us. Oh, they did Outer Worlds, Hades.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so they're the publisher for Hades. Okay.
Oh, you're talking about, what is it? Oh god, I just saw them. The Division?
Yeah, Private Division.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're the publisher for Outer Worlds, Hades, Ali Ali, Rollerdrome. So they have quite a few decent names under their belt as well. So I think that this game might have the potential to be a pretty good game. I am looking forward to it. If you are hearing about it now through here, I would suggest giving it a try. It'll probably be out by the time this comes out. So yeah.
Yeah, about that. I don't want to burst your bubble, but the game will come out in the latter half of this next year.
That's all I have to say about this cozy little Hobbit game that I am so excited to get my goblin paws on. But moving on from a game that is coming out from a very large franchise that's been around for a long time, we're gonna move on to a big franchise that's been around for a while, and honestly, I honestly think probably has a foot or two in the grave. Menace, what do you have to say about the Destiny?
They're coming back!
Are they?
They're
I thought they were
back.
dead.
Nah, because if any good Destiny player knows, Bungie makes their best shit when one foot is in the grave.
I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
This is a good and bad thing. But so we got the final dev insight for Into the Light, which also came with a gameplay preview for the Final Shape. And I've been playing the new one. I'm actually on it right now. But the Into the Light stuff I wanted to talk about a little bit because I finally got some time in it. I've been talking about it the past couple weeks, and it's fun. A lot of the new guns, reprise guns, are cool. I got a couple of the shiny versions I was talking about. But all these weapons are like top of their class. But what I really wanted to talk about was the game mode itself. The game mode is really cool, a lot more fun than I expected it to be for just like essentially a wave-based tower defense mode. And there's even stuff that I just learned yesterday, like I was talking to Subset, that when you're killing enemies, you're essentially protecting what's called the Advanced Defense Unit, or ADU. And sometimes when you kill enemies, they'll drop batteries to heal the ADU. Turns out you can actually take those batteries and throw them at your defenses to heal them as well, and it won't use up the battery, which is I think is a nice little thing that people were just learning and figuring out yesterday. But there's been one secret encounter that's been found, but the secret encounter that was found is sometimes during wave 45 to 50, you'll go into a pyramid ship like you normally do, like I explained before, but you go in there and you're just in this room for a second, and a tormentor spawns, which if you don't know what a tormentor is, it's one of a big tank enemy that we've been fighting in Destiny as of recently, one of the main bad guys' new forces. And as you kill one, two more spawn, and then two more spawn, and two more spawn, and you essentially will have an entire room of up to like 10 of these big tanky ass enemies, tormentors. And if that's the type of secrets that they're putting in, I can't wait to look around and like see if they do like the special objectives and stuff like that. But the meat of the stuff I wanted to talk about, the reason why I said that they're coming back, is we got the Final Shape preview. So alongside the three new light supers that were announced, which is teleporting knife, I can't remember what it's called, for the hunters. You throw out a knife and then you teleport to it, and then you do this big slashing animation. There's also the Twilight Arsenal for the Titans, which is you get this big void axe, jump up into the air, you throw it down, and it essentially sucks everything in and explodes, and then your teammates can actually pick up the axe and wield it as a weapon later, which is cool. And then you have the spin on the support class from Destiny 1 for the Solar Hunters, which essentially gives you a bunch of health regen and a bunch of ability uptime to where you can throw out grenades. There's this new melee where you throw out this like fire bird that tracks towards enemies and flies around the battlefield shooting at stuff while you're doing it. But we also got announced a brand new subclass where Guardians will be able to wield light and darkness in tandem called Prismatic. And there's actually this, like, they came out with this sheet. Prismatic is essentially you'll be able to mix and match some of your stuff from your different subclasses. So, like, you can have up to 4 different types of supers. You have an arc one, a solar one, stasis one, strand, and void. Like, I'll use Hunter as an example because it's the class that I play. You can use Shadow Shot, which is, the void bow. You can use Golden Gun, which is the solar gun. You get every dodge ability for the Hunter, including the little flip for solar, which makes you radiant, gives you a damage buff. You can use every jump, including blink, which was strictly arc. And then you get a bunch of different melee abilities. You can use the triple knife from solar. You can use the combination blow, which is the punch from arc. You can use the spike that you throw out from strand, or the one that I'm gonna be using is the shurikens from stasis that slow enemies. And the cool thing is that they've even redone some of the aspects and came out with new aspects, making them more generalized for damage types. So you can have a hunter that is running Gunpowder Gamble and Stylus Executioner. So every kill that you get, you are working towards that Gunpowder Gamble instead of it just being solar kills to get that extra big grenade, while you're also being able to go invis because of Stylus Executioner, also gaining that volatile rounds if you're running something special like Gerfalcons and stuff like that. But speaking of that, you can they are focusing on specific buffs for each class and grenades, because underneath your super bar in this new subclass there is a light and dark meter, and you can fill those up by doing light and dark subclass based damage, whether it's with weapons or your actual abilities. For those of you that play, as you kill enemies with kinetic weapons, if one of your bars fills, the other bar will fill even faster than if you were just using that type by using a kinetic weapon. But the other thing that they are working on is once those bars are filled, you can become what's called transcendent, and you get a special buff for your class specifically, and you get a special grenade. Warlocks will have a stasis void grenade, which kind of it suppresses everything and then it freezes everything and shatters them automatically. The Titans have a strand arc grenade, which is like the pulse grenade where it'll pulse electricity, but it also has the same effects as like a shackle grenade where it will suspend enemies in the air and stop moving. And the Hunter's grenade is honestly my favorite. This almost like a trip mine grenade, but you throw it and it makes this big storm of stasis energy and freezes everything. Then after 2 to 3 seconds, you can actually see it switch to this almost jet engine fire coming out of it, causing ignitions and burning to everything around it. It's honestly that's what made me want to stick with Hunter for this new prismatic subclass. And a lot of people are going crazy right now because there was a Reddit user that actually teased this subclass years ago, I want to say 2 to 3 years ago, and now everybody is taking everything he talks about as gospel, and he's been coming out with a few new things. Apparently there's a Destiny 3 in the works, and
yes,
they say that he says that, and not the same day, but the day before he posted that, Bungie actually started working on a new project called Project Payback. Now his reasoning behind why it's called Payback is kind of weird. He says that it's a jab at Bungie towards itself, saying they want to have payback on themselves and make a game that everybody will love, considering how Destiny 2 has been up and down the entire lifetime of its running, which I don't really get. But he also said that they're going to do away with the class system entirely, and you're just going to be able to mix and match, kind of like how Prismatic is supposed to in Destiny 2. You're going to be able to just mix skills and do a skill tree kind of thing. But I will take everything that any leaker, redditor says with a grain of salt, even if they are 100% accurate all the time, because development can change on a whim, whether that's from CEOs or them going on Reddit and seeing this post and be like, oh yeah, well, we got to change shit so people don't know what we're coming up with. Going back to stuff that has been actually confirmed to be releasing, and I think this has got to be my favorite thing coming out of the Final Shape, is we will be able to essentially have a double exotic. Instead of wearing in Destiny, you get one exotic weapon that you can equip on your weapon slots and one exotic armor piece that you can equip. And a lot of exotics are cool, but a lot of them can actually synergize well with each other once you look at their actual abilities, even though you can only have one equipped. out. But this new system that's coming out in Final Shape is called an exotic class item, which we haven't gotten since close to the end of Destiny 1. These are completely different from those, even, to where these are randomized rolls of an exotic class item, and they have 2 exotic perks on them. So while I'm up here on my Destiny thing, I'll go with, there's an exotic piece for hunters called 6 Coyote, and it's easy. All you get is a second dodge for your hunter. So you can get that on your class item and have it be with something like Syntheseps, which is a Titan exotic, which gives you increased melee damage if enemies are close to you or within range. So you can get a random exotic class item that has those 2, 1 exotic perk not even pertaining to your class, and essentially have 2 exotics equipped in 1 slot. And I think the combos that people are going to be able to find for these are going to be insane. Everyone was talking about how Prismatic is going to break the game. No, these class items are going to be what breaks the game.
Yeah, because dude, I already have ideas.
Imagine being a hunter with the example that I just said. A hunter with Prismatic, where you can already go invisible, get Gambler's Gunpowder Gamble, but then you also have 2 dodge charges because you have 6 Coyote, and your Withering Blades do more damage because you have the Syntheseps equipped.
Like,
it's just too much.
Because I'm thinking of going like the good old, like, because you know how I am with my Titans. I like to go a little support. Imagine popping, you're doing something different, but your barricade can either heal you and launching out like a flame, like
having
Kepri's horn,
having Kepri's horn and having like precious scars.
Chris Rappalubi and Kepri's horn. So you heal and send out a wave, bro. Like,
These, and I'm so glad that they're randomized. I hope that they don't do anything to like target farm these, because I.
sorry to cut you off. I just thought of another combo: Crest of Appalubi and Glacier, the gauntlets.
Well, you gotta remember, they're not even connected just to your class, so you can literally you can get something like 6 Coyote on your thing and have 2 barricades.
Or I can have the abilities to blink.
You would already have the dodge blink.
Yes, Titan ability. Let's go.
I feel like that would only work with thrusters though. If that's even, I don't think that all exotics are going to be on these class items. I think that there's going to be
one can dream, right?
I want to see if someone has pictures of the class items, because we did see. I know there's a step. I believe there's a 6 Coyote. We saw, what was it? Ophidian Spades. Trying to think of other ones that we saw that were kind of like in there.
Oh my god, I can't wait. The ability, the combo,
yeah. So
synergy.
There's one of them has Star Eater scales, and which for those of you that don't play Star Eater scales, once your super is full, any orbs you gain afterward, like orbs of power that normally fill your super bar, they increase the damage up to like 8 times the damage.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's just precious scars on it by itself. And then he has Spirit of Ophidian, which is Ophidian Aspects, which is a Warlock exotic, and he's in the scene. They're a Titan character, so he has a Warlock exotic and a Hunter exotic on a Titan character. But the caveat to these is that they only work on the Prismatic subclass, so you can't just be running a normal singular set subclass, like singular element subclass, and still get these double perk things.
So good. That's good. At least that's good.
But I feel like that's just gonna break the game even faster, and I can't help but keep going back to Aztecross's video on this. Before even the Into the Light stuff was being shown off, he said that if Final Shape is to be a banger expansion, they're going to need to say the meta. And everything that I've seen from Into the Light and this Final Shape preview, ever since he posted that video, Destiny has been saying the meta. They've been buffing everything. They came out with the original PvP weapons that were literally taken out of the game because they were too powerful. They've made a legendary version of an weapon, Elsie's rifle. They've reprised 2 of the best PvE and PvP exotics in just this free update for everybody. After all this free stuff, and everybody's getting all this free stuff, they're coming out with Prismatic and these new exotic class items. But that's not even the last thing. One thing that people people have been asking forever in Destiny is finally happening. We're getting an entirely new race of enemy to fight, which, going from lore videos, it is a possibility that some of them are kinda not an enemy race, but they are changed enough to where they do play differently than other races, and they do feel different than other races. These are what's called the Dread, and these are the Witness's forces, a fierce group of combatants with new abilities to shake up the fight. In addition to the Tormentor, which we saw in Lightfall, which are those big guys I was talking about earlier, and the Subjugators, which were released in the first showing of Final Shape. They're based off of one of the Witnesses' most devoted disciples, Rolk, which was a raid boss, and they have stasis and strand powers. They have kind of like back guards almost. They more like mages kind of, and they'll send out like frost bolts or strand stuff to suspend you in the air, stuff like that. There are also four other types of enemies in this new faction called the Dread. There are the Grim, which is a highly mobile flying enemy, which is our first enemy that is flying that actually has wings, and it has almost like a tracking gun of pyramid tech, and then its head has actually been replaced with pyramid tech as well to create a sonic scream that slows and suppresses Guardian's abilities if they get too close. There's also the Husk, which is a acrobatic melee bruiser, and it actually represents the Hive a lot if you look at the model for it, and its kind of special thing that it does, which is once you kill it, it sends out a Geist, which is like this floating, spiky looking thing that'll come towards you and explode, unless you hit their weak spot for the final blow, which is kind of the opposite. I never actually thought about that subset. The Husks have the opposite of every other explosive enemy that we have. The Geists don't come out of them if you hit their critical spot, which is actually pretty cool. But I say that they're like the Hive because the aesthetic of them, their body, like shape, the number of fingers they have, and plus with their Geist being comparable to the worms that the Hive have inside of them with their deal with the Witness and the Worm Gods. It seems like the Husks are almost like reformed, perfect shapes, air quotations, of the Hive that the Witness is trying to create or has finished creating. And kind of going along with the altered form thing are the last two variants for the Witness's army, the Attendant and the Weavers. These are stasis and strands forms respectively, so the Attendants are the stasis and the Weavers are the strand. These units can instantly change the flow of an encounter and force Guardians to pay attention to their positioning in the battlefield. They have been said to be scions that the Witness has, I don't want to say taken because that's a completely different thing, but he's kind of like reformed them into this kind of like new group. But you can see their singular eye. You can do originate from scions, but they do have like stasis crystals or strand kind of covering them. And the cool thing that they do is they're kind of like the description said, they control the battlefield by using stasis strand. The Attendants, we haven't really seen what they do. It looks maybe like they send out like cold dusk fields, which are like bubbles of stasis energy, which will slow you and eventually freeze you if you stand in it. But the Weavers, I'm actually more worried about. They have kind of like what the Scions do, where they send out their grenade, they send out a purple wisp, and it launches you up in the air. The Weavers will send out strand towards you, and they'll actually pull you towards them, or they'll pull you in whatever direction they hit you. So it'll like rubber band you backwards to wherever you're going. But that was all we really got to see. I am excited for
More.
Prismatic.
More.
Yes, I'm really excited
More.
to see what they got going.
Give me more.
But all of this, I will say, all of this cool shit won't matter if the narrative flops like it did in Lightfall. They're building the hype, and they're building it really well, doing these 3 live streams. Well, 4 if you count the Final Shape preview, but that was kind of like at the end of the 3rd one. With Into the Light, everybody's wanting these weapons that they've used to have and are remade, have new perks and new roles, or redone perks. And then everybody also is getting super excited for Prismatic subclass. I haven't seen nearly anybody talk about these class items in subset. I think this is going to be the best thing to come out of it.
Yeah, and so they don't want to tarnish the reputation by saying anything uneasily. This is going to be the perfect conversation.
I was talking about more like content creators. I haven't even seen them talk about it.
Yeah, because there's not like, you don't want to say or just assume shit. Even the best ones. They just want to have a little bit more, just a little bit more, and then bam, discourse, which one is the best combination. At that point, is just going to be honest.
I guess it all depends on like if Bungie comes out with a like list of all the different types of exotic perks you can get.
Well, bullshit.
I also wonder if it's like, because you know how some exotics have two types to the perk,
Yeah.
like Gerfalcons. Your void volatile rounds after you emerge from being invisible, and then killing an enemy with any void debuffs makes you invisible and gives you true sight. So what if like you only get half of that? What if like coming out of invisibility gives you volatile rounds, but you don't get the infinite invis true sight thing from Gerfalcon? I could see them doing something along those lines where like you don't get the full effect of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is all I really got for the Destiny news. I'm really excited for this. You can ask Subset here. I've been kind of iffy about Final Shape, whether I want to get it or not. But he's
just yap about Destiny shit, dude. Chad, it's so annoying.
Wow, you've been yapping too. Shut up. Playing Into the Light, and seeing this new stuff for the Final Shape has really hyped me up, and I'm ready. I'm ready to take him down.
Good time.
I know I'm gonna be in it at least until Final Shape is done.
More.
But
don't worry, people. He may be done talking about it here, but he's not gonna stop talking about it after.
Shut up.
Now, for this week's episode, I want to return to some of the manga and anime news going on, and what better time to do so than with the latest chapters of Boruto to Blue Vortex, with the return of a very special character. Now, ever since Naruto joined the Big Three with their maximum monster forms, like Goku with Ultra Instinct and Luffy with Gear 5, Naruto's Baryon mode was an incredible feat to behold, and it unfortunately came at the loss of the nine-tailed fox, Kurama. A YouTuber named NC Hammer 23 goes into a great amount of detail into the actual technique of Baryon mode and how it actually interacts with Naruto, Kurama, and those around him. However, today we're not going to be talking about the death of Kurama. We're going to be talking about the resurrection of Kurama, because, to provide context, in Chapter 8 of the 2 Blue Vortex Manga, Jura and Hidari, which are basically sentient Ten-Tails monsters in human form. Again, go check out NC Hammer 23 for more on the intricacies of the details behind these characters. But to summarize, Hidari is actually Sasuke, who was absorbed by the Ten-Tails tree, and what came from the tree was sprouted to be Hidari. It's a little confusing, but basically Hidari and Jura kind of pull up on Konoha and they walk right into the Hidden Leaf village looking for Naruto. However, as Jura explains, he was following the tailed beast chakra, and by the end of the chapter, Jura finds Himawari, which is Naruto's daughter and Boruto's sister. Chapter 9 basically continues off as we learn more about characters' reactions to this Himawari discovery, and a fight ensues with Jura and Boruto's version of Team 10, the show, not the person. And by the end of the chapter, with Himawari escaping with some of the other characters, she drifts into this space within her mind. It's kind of different from what Naruto first experienced with the inner sanctum of tailed beasts, but what is similar is that Kurama is the chibi reborn tailed beast residing within Himawari. I'm so happy that the nine-tailed fox is finally back, and we finally get to see Six Palms be implemented with QB Chakra. I can't wait to see what Himawari is going to pull off, as we've seen with this 2 Blue Vortex sequel manga. We get to see all types of characters shine, all the main characters get really huge buffs, like Boruto being able to accomplish Flying Raijin and his new planetary Rasengan, the Uzahiko, and Mitsuki keeping up with his Sage mode, and even Sarada unlocking her Mangekyo Sharingan. This new generation of Naruto, now that it's kind of firmly out of the filler arc, is actually looking pretty exciting. I was never one that was interested in Boruto on a glance, just because I was more of a Naruto fan, but honestly, I'm really excited to see what they kind of bring to the table with this new story. I'm definitely interested to see when it's going to be animated, but yeah, we finally know that the Nine-Tails is alive and well, and it'll be interesting to see how they're implemented in the story going forward. Anyways, that's been all I have to talk about for this week, but I think it's about time I send it back to my friends to end this episode.
That is going to be it from us. I would like to thank everybody who was here today. Subset, thank you.
Heyo!
And Trin, thank you for being here.
A pleasure as always.
And from all of us at PopCulture Effect, make sure to, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're listening to us on CJSW, make sure to go check the other wonderful podcast radio stations and other such things that we got over there. And we will see you in the next one. Bye!
Bye-bye!
Trin, let's go.
All right, I get it. Calm down.
Okay. Sorry, Trin, I'm so excited.
I know you are. I am too. I'm just hoping that like I can make this okay for Robbie. Robbie, I'm sorry in advance if my audio levels don't sound good enough. I'm trying.
Not my fault.
Anyway, so you said you want to start us off? What's that?
Yes.
Funky artichokes. Whenever you wish to.
So I just introduce us.
Yeah, you pretty much do like the whole, like you don't have to do the
Hey,
whole
welcome
demons.
to the PopCulture Effect. I'm Subset, and I'm here today with Trin and Menace.
Okay.
Menace, whatever.
Yeah.